Have you ever felt like something was watching you, but you couldn't see it? Imagine there's a creature that only appears when you're not looking. Now imagine it's in your room. Jack, a young man in his late 20s, lived alone in a small apartment in an old neighborhood. He loved the quiet, but he didn't know that his peaceful apartment would become his nightmare. One night, while reading a book on his couch, he felt a cold prick on the back of his neck. He looked around, but the room was empty. Smiling nervously, he muttered, "Just my imagination." But it wasn't his imagination. As Jack returned to his book, he noticed something odd in the corner. A faint reflection on the dark screen of his turned-off TV. Something moving behind him. He turned quickly, but there was nothing there. His heart started racing, though his mind tried to convince him everything was fine. He went back to reading, but this time, he felt a presence closer to him. Heavy breaths near his ear. He froze in place, too scared to turn around. "Who's there?" he shouted, but the only response was silence and a faint whisper. "Don't look." Jack stood up slowly, his hand trembling as he grabbed his phone to turn on the flashlight. The room was lit, but it felt unnaturally dark. Suddenly, a shadow darted across the wall, moving unnaturally. It was tall, thin, and its limbs were twisted as if broken. Jack screamed and dropped his phone. The light went out, and the room was plunged into darkness. At that moment, he heard slow, deliberate footsteps approaching. The sound was heavy, like something dragging itself toward him. "Don't look," the voice repeated, but this time it was much closer, as if inside his head. Jack, paralyzed with fear, shut his eyes tightly. He felt something cold pass by him, like the breath of death. His body trembled as he whispered, "Who are you?" "What do you want?" the voice replied, and it wasn't human. "I've been here since the beginning. I live in the corners, in the shadows. I'm the thing you see when you're not looking." Jack, unable to bear it any longer, slowly opened his eyes. Standing right in front of him was the creature. Empty eyes, a distorted face, and limbs stretched unnaturally. But the moment he looked at it, it vanished. Jack sat in the dark, gasping for air, but the silence didn't last. He heard the voice again, this time from behind him. "I told you, don't look." If you enjoyed this story and want more thrilling and mysterious tales, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done if you were in Jack's place? See you in the next story.